Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. 우리 한국인 구독자들한테 잠깐 말씀 하나 전달할게요. 오늘 방송 옛날 VC 분석할 때처럼 똑같이 영어로 할게요. 물론 솔라나 위 사람들이 다 영어하니까 영어로 할게요. Just a quick message to my Korean subscribers. I know most my subscribers are Korean, but I will be doing this in English because again, everyone higher up in Solana, they all speak English. So I'll be doing this in English today, right? As I always do when I look at these Solana VCs. Some very interesting news came out recently about some recent a recent acquisition from RK Capital. They acquired McKenna as an advisor. Didn't know really much about who this guy was. I did follow him, but apparently he's a whale, right? So they acquired him, right? Now the thing that stood out about this acquisition to me was very recently another Asian cash grab VC, right? Sino Global Capital, who I've criticized many times, right? Everyone knows these guys and what they do in Solana. They recently acquired Altcoin Psycho, another trader, right? So two very big whales, right, coming on to these Asian cash grab VCs, right? Sino and RK Capital. Why do I call them Asian cash grab VCs, right? Everyone knows the tricks that these guys use, right, to make money, right? I've exposed both of them, right? Basically, if you still have no idea what these VCs do, basically, what they do is they extract money from the local places that they live in, right? So Sina is based in China. They make money off Chinese investors, right? RK Capital, again, based in Korea, right? Where I am, right? I live in Seoul. So these guys make money by extracting, right, money from retail. They fleece Korean retail, right? So basically, that's the MO, right, of these VCs, right? So what I'm curious about, what I'm really curious about is how should you take this as a retail investor in Solana, right? Because these are two of the biggest Solana VCs, right? Um here's my take on this, right? All you have to do is ask yourself a very simple question. Despite these recent acquisitions, the fundamental question hasn't really changed, right? And the question is, do these VCs care about you? Obviously, the answer to that question has not changed. Sino does not give a fuck about you. RK Capital does not give a fuck about you. It's very hard to change the fundamental nature of people, right? These people are in crypto to make money off of you. So that fundamental question has not changed. If that question has not changed, why would they spend so much money to acquire these traders? It's very obvious, right? They mismanage their funds. This is something that I've been saying for a very long time. These VCs are not very good at managing their money, right? Um, in multiple ways, right? Obviously, when it comes to their investing style, they just throw money at shit projects and scam projects left and right, and then they promote them, right? So that's not a very efficient use of their money. And then another way they're not very good at managing their money, they probably blew up a lot of their money trying to trade this downtrend, right? I can guarantee you that, right? Think about the psychology of these kinds of people. They're degens, right? They all trade. I've said this many times on my broadcast. Just like I trade crypto, just like my subscribers trade crypto, just like everyone in crypto trades crypto, these funds trade, right? They're treasuries. They all trade, right? Crypto. But the way they trade crypto is very degen. They use a lot of leverage. They do a lot of risky shit that gets them blown up if they make the wrong trade. That's why I always recommend my subscribers trade in the opposite of the way these whales trade, right? They can afford to do very risky things because they have the stacks, right? They have the bankrolls to trade that way, right? They can put in walls, right? Sell walls and buy walls, right? And protect their positions, right? Retail cannot trade the same way these guys trade. That's why I always have said the same thing to my subscribers from day one. Trade safely. Don't use leverage. Don't do too many risky things when you're trading crypto. Play it safe, right? Those are the things that will help you survive. And that's how I'm still surviving today, right? So my advice to you is think about that fundamental question. It hasn't changed, right? So basically, you can think about these moves by Sino and Arc Capital. These are moves to rehabilitate their image after, right, I expose them, right? So you just have to spend a little bit of time looking to their investments and seeing how they raise, right? It's all unscrupulous, shady shit, right? So they were basically forced, right? I forced them to try to do something to rehabilitate their image, right? But this doesn't necessarily reflect a fundamental change in their investing style and their investing philosophy. So you should not really take this to be some kind of, beneficial thing for you, right, as a retail investor. So if basically my advice is if you start seeing these names pop up in our seed rounds, you should still stay very skeptical, right? Their track record has shown they're not very good investors. I've proven that already, right, with many broadcasts. Um, you should see, right, what their next rounds of investments are going to be like and how they turn out, right? If it's an empirical question. If their next round of investments turn out to be decent investments, maybe, right, they'll have the track record, right, that will be able to rehabilitate, right, their reputation, right? There's always second chances, right? Some of the worst people in crypto have revived their, images, right? People forget, right? People have very short-term memories in crypto. Everyone knows this. I'm the opposite, right? I'm trying to make good investments, so I keep track of all this stuff. I remember everyone. I remember everything, right? It helps me become a better investor, right? It's kind of weird how I've been doing this in public out in the open for free for years and advising all these VCs, but these guys had to pay like millions of dollars to these traders, right, to help them, right, manage their funds. It just goes to show you how weak they are in their fundamentals, right? Both Sino and RK Capital have very weak fundamental investment philosophies, right? They wouldn't have had to resort to, outsourcing their operations, right, to these traders, right, and investors if they knew what they were doing. If they knew what they're doing, if they knew how to invest properly, they wouldn't have to have spent extra millions. I'm guessing if I just had to guess how much Altcoin Psycho and McKenna were paid, somewhere in the millions, easily in the millions, right? They had to pay millions, right? Because their expected return from taking on these traders, right, is in the multi millions, right? So they put in millions to these advisors with the expectation of making multi millions, right? So to them, obviously, it's a win-win situation. They get to onboard these whales, right? I don't know. Again, I don't know much about these guys, right? I haven't been paying attention to crypto long enough to know exactly what the history of Altcoin Psycho and McKenna are. As Altcoin Psycho, I've seen some very good takes from him about options, protocols, and things like that, right? He and I, we think very similarly when it comes to a lot of things, right? I've liked a lot of his posts, right? McKenna, this guy I don't know as much, right? I only recently followed him, right? So I haven't really been able to pay attention to how he invests in crypto and some of his philosophies. So I don't know how much I agree with the way he invests. So I can't really comment on that. But obviously, this guy's some kind of mega whale trader, right? So he must be smart enough if he's doing well in this kind of market, right? Both of these guys must be good traders at the very least, right? So that at least is probably why they were onboarded, right, by Arca Capital and Sino Global Capital, right? Um, so I will, of course, right? I'm the first Solana YouTuber. These are two of the most notorious Solana VCs. I will be paying very close attention to what kind of seed rounds these guys get in from now on and seeing like what happens to their projects. If you're unfamiliar, if you're a new Solana investor, I highly recommend going over my old videos. Just start with the videos when I look at Sino and Arca Capital and see how their portfolios have performed, right? Just start with those videos. Try to get a feel for how these guys raise money. I've described, right, their operations in Korea in very like, clear specific with very clear specific details, right? How do they raise money? These are things that I've been watching very closely for many years now, right? So that's valuable knowledge, right? For my subscribers, go over that stuff, see, right, what they do and avoid, right, falling into their traps, right? Um, if these VCs are smart and if Altcoin Psycho and McKenna are as smart as they say, they'll know that Solana retail is a little sharper than most investors because we pay very close attention to this kind of stuff, right? So if they're smart um, people, they will actually help Arca Capital and Sino make good investments. If they're not smart, they'll just try to do the same bullshit that they do, and it will just utterly destroy, right, these funds' reputations. If you had to quantify how these funds are viewed by probably the other major funds, these are probably considered a joke. Sino is probably considered as a joke fund. Arca Capital is probably considered as a joke fund, right? So they had to pay the millions, right, to try. They had no choice. They had no choice but to pay the millions, right, to try to recuperate and rehabilitate, right, themselves, right? So pay close attention to these guys. I definitely will. Of course, you guys know me. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be watching these guys, right, for you guys, right, and giving my own analysis and my own take as the first Solana YouTuber, right. I've been keeping much more close attention to Solana than these guys, right. It's my impression that these guys are very busy traders, so they probably don't have time to look into Solana, right. The kind of time that I have to look in Solana, right. So pay attention to these guys, follow them just like I have, right? Just to see what kinds of things they say. I'll be looking out for what they say specifically when it comes to Solana, of course, right? Because I'm the first Solana YouTuber, right? So very interesting stuff. The second kind of interesting thing that I'm seeing on my timeline from a lot of whales. I'm gonna switch to the normal broadcast where I do the live translate now. 이제부터 라이브 해석 다시 시작하겠습니다. 중요한 내용 다 끝났으니까. 고래들이 트위터에 이제 바닥이 왔다고 그런 말씀이 많이 들으니까 제가 만약에 추천해야 되면 이미 안 들어왔으면 이제 천천히 들어오세요. 마진 거래 막 이상한 짓 하지 말고 천천히 이제 분할 매수 시작 안 했으면 시작해야 될 것 같아요. 왜냐면 고래들이 계속 뭐 이제 바닥이 이제 왔다 뭐 그런 샬샬 계속 하니까 고래들 반대로 거래하면 망하는 거니까 그냥 알아서 잘 이제 천천히 안전하게 거래 시작하세요. 그런 말 많아요 지금 툴을. 고래들이 그런 말 많이 해요. 만약에 불안하면 그냥 더 기다리고 더 내려갈 때 들어가요. 얘네들이 뭐 들어가라고 해도 뭐 100% 믿지 마세요. I'm seeing a lot of chatter on my timeline that the bottom is in. Many whales are saying this. I don't think it's the ultimate bottom. To be totally honest, I think it's going to be a local bottom. If it is a bottom, I think it's going to be a local bottom. We have not hit the absolute bottom. I'm going to call that right now. 분명히 말할게요. 얘네들 고래들이 이제 바닥이 왔다고 해도 그냥 당분간 바닥으로 생각합니다. 그래서 뭐 그런 뭐 불안하지 않으면 위험성 같은 거 안 느끼고 이제 뭐 거래 이제 하고 싶으면 뭐 short squeeze나 뭐 그런 가격 조치 예상하면 거래 잘하고 완전 바닥은 아직 안 왔다고 생각해요. 그건 분명히 말할게요. 그래서 아직도 조금 그냥 지켜보고 시장 조금 더 보고 들어가고 싶으면 물론 그렇게 해도 되고 아니면 이제 고래들 이랑 같이 이제 거래하고 싶으면 뭐 거래 잘하고 어 알아서 잘해요. 근데 그 말씀 하나는 전달하고 싶었습니다. 트위터에 그런 말 계속 나와요. So just wanted to let you guys know the whales are saying the bottom is in. Again, to me, it's going to be a local bottom if it is a bottom, right? Have no way of telling what the absolute bottom is going to be like, right? Very good chance to you will see like some kind of massive, blood in the streets day, and then that will be the real bottom, right? That's when really people will be losing hope. It wicks down to some ridiculous levels, right? We could easily see something like that, very possible. I'm expecting it 100%, right? I have enough in crypto now where people will be pumping my bags and I'm fine, right? Just riding it out, right? 저희 같은 경우는 이미 물론 조금 이제 문백 가방 충분히 있으니까 만약에 뭐 혹시라도 뭐 그런 가격 조치 보면 많이 올라가면 갑작스럽게 전 뭐 충분히 만족합니다. 그래서 알아서 잘해요, 우리 구독자들. 복구님, 뉴 페이스 새 얼굴인데 어서 오세요. 이슬람 벤처들이 이런 발표하니까 뭐 어떻게 생각해요? 신기하죠? What do you think about this recent news about Arkin Capital and McKenna? Pretty interesting stuff, right? Interesting stuff. I have to kind of look more into this guy, right? 얘 McKenna 조금 알아봐야 돼요. 뭐 정확히 얘가 어떤 사람인지 잘 모르니까 I wanted to see what his what kinds of things he says around Twitter. 얘가 이제 트위터에 무슨 얘기하는지 되게 궁금해요. 사가부터 보기 시작했어요. 아. 저 어서 오세요. 환영합니다. 이 채널 무슨 채널인지 모르면 저 첫 solana 유튜버입니다. 그래서 물론 이제 옛날부터 solana 투자한 사람이고 그래서 좋은 정보 많이 얻을 수 있어요. 제가 어 뭐 라이브 방송이나 동영상 올릴 때 잘 중요한 부분 잘 스캐닝하세요, 시간 있을 때. So I'm like spending some time looking at this guy's Twitter. 이 트위터 얘 트위터 지금 보고 있는데 물론 얘는 이제 거래 그런 거 많이 관심이 있는 것 같아요. I mean, based on what I'm seeing from this guy, he is definitely a trader's trader, right? 얘는 그냥 무조건 거래 디젠 같은 사람인 것 같아요, 딱 보니까. This dude's the hardcore trader, right? I mean, like half of his tweets are all about like just trades that he's in, right? 얘 트윗 보면 계속 얘 거래하는 것만 나와요. He's into astrophysics. 예, 뭐 물리학 같은 것도 관심 있나 봐 보니까. I'm into that stuff as well, right? 저도 뭐 비슷한 관심이 있으니까. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, all of this shit is about trading, right? This dude's straight up just a degen, right? If my bags pump, this is the guy who's gonna be pumping my bags, right? So you should thank this guy. 만약에 우리 구독자들 가방이 갑자기 펌핑하면 얘한테 감사해야 돼요. 얘가 이제 우리 구독자들 가방 펌핑 시키는 분이에요. We all owe this guy like a small commission, right? If he pumps our bags, right? Because that's what it looks like. All these whales are trying to do, pumping. They're all pumping our bags, right? So you got to say thank you to these guys, right? Thank you, McKenna and Altcoin Psycho, for pumping my bags. If you guys are gonna be pumping the market, right? I at least owe these guys a thank you, right? If they're gonna pump shit, right? 만약에 Altcoin Psycho하고 McKenna가 시장 펌핑 시킬 거면 뭐 감사합니다. 뭐 그 말씀 하나라도 전달하긴 해야죠. Let me see what these comments are like. 댓글 한번 볼게요. Thanks for sharing many good things. Yeah, dude. Here, look. I I say this all the time to my subscribers. The reason a lot of people are going to be very curious, like, why do I keep on doing this shit? Why am I still YouTubing and trying to share stuff with my subscribers? 우리 구독자들이 아마 많이 궁금할 거예요. 뭐 몇 년 동안 왜 계속 방송하냐고, 왜 이렇게 많이 연구하냐고. 물론 이제 이 채널 시작했었을 때 다른 솔라나 유튜버들 봤는데 걔네들 아무것도 몰라서 너무 충격이었어요. 너무 충격받았어요. 그래서 계속 이제 방송하는 거예요. When I started YouTubing, I spent a lot of time just looking at these YouTubers, right, and seeing what they know. There's very little knowledge, right, from these YouTubers. These YouTubers had no fucking idea what they were doing. 이 진짜 유튜버들이 아무것도 몰라서 어쩔 수 없었어요. 너무 심각해서 제가 채널 시작한 거예요. it was so bad in the YouTube space. Like people, they literally had no fucking idea what they were doing. Let me show you an example. 예를 들면 어, 이런 인플루언서 같은 분이 솔라나 5천 불 이런 예상 이런 동영상 올렸어. I mean, think about like from my perspective as a YouTuber. 저는 이제 유튜버이니까 유튜버 입장으로 생각해요. 이런 유튜버들 보면 어떻게 생각해야 돼요? Think about like how would I think about these kinds of YouTubers if they're putting up $5,000 Solana price predictions? I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? It makes no sense to be uploading these kinds of videos. It's bullshit. 완전 그냥 개소리예요. 이런 동영상, right? Can Solana hit 5,000? I have never fucking made a video for Solana saying Solana is gonna go to $5,000. Look at all my old videos. I've never made a Solana price prediction like $5,000. One of the most clickbaity, dumbest fucking headlines I've ever seen on YouTube, right? About Solana. Solana 동영상 중에 유튜브에 Solana 5,000불 이런 개소리 같은 동영상 한 번도 올린 적 없어요. 저는 되게 현실적이에요. The reason people tune in is right. I'm fucking realistic about this shit. I'm not going to sell dreams for cash, right? And feed the masses bullshit. I'm very realistic when it comes to investing in Solana. That's why people pay attention. Solana에 투자하면서 되게 현실적으로 투자하니까 물론 사람들이 궁금해요. 이제 첫 솔라나 유튜버 입장 그리고 이런 YouTuber 많이 비판해요. I criticize so many YouTubers because they say so much stupid shit, right? 유튜버들이 진짜 엉뚱한 개소리 너무 많이 해요. 이상한 새끼들 너무 많아요. I mean, it's like it doesn't make sense, right? This dude was saying retire on Solana, right? That is the worst fucking financial advice ever. I would never tell someone you should be investing in Solana to fucking retire on it. 저희 같은 경우는 이런 이제 은퇴 솔라나에 투자하고 은퇴하라 전 그런 추천 절대 안 할 거야. I've never said bullshit like this. This makes no fucking sense whatsoever. 이거 말도 안 되는 소리예요. 생각해요. 이런 유튜버들이 이런 말 하는데 그냥 이제 그림의 떡이에요. You got to be fucking smarter when you're if you took the advice of these kinds of YouTubers, you fucking lost a ton of money. 만약에 이런 유튜버들 말 들었으면 솔라나에 이제 이상하게 투자하고 제가 말한 대로 안 뺐으면 망했어요. I mean, you cannot fucking say shit like this on YouTube, right? It's very misleading. 유튜버들이 이런 개소리 하면 그냥 무시해야 돼요. 현실적으로 생각해야 돼요, 항상. Right? The people who were saying all sorts of stupid shit about Solana are the reason why people are probably not a lot of people are probably not going to reinvest in Solana because there are so many fucking retarded people saying so much retarded shit. 이제 개소리 하는 사람들이 너무 많아서 솔라나에 잘못 하다가 망해서 그런 사람들이 더 이상 솔라나에 투자 안 할 거니까 저는 진짜 싫어요, 이런 사람들. Right? I criticize so many fucking people, right, on YouTube and even in Solana. Solana 커뮤니티 중에서도 제가 비판 많이 해요. 그런 사람들 때문에 솔라나에 투자 안 할 거니까. 근데 물론 저는 이제 솔라나 커뮤니티 키워야 되니까 스스로 혼자서 지금까지 혼자서 키웠으니까 I single-handedly grew the only real community in Solana by myself, right? That's what I have achieved, right? I've raised the most based fucking community in Solana, right? The most based community, right? The smartest community. 가장 똑똑한 community 키웠어요, Solana, right? That's why that's why I like my subscribers. They think very similar to me, right? 우리 구독자들이 저랑 비슷하게 생각하니까 되게 행복해요. 현실적으로 똑똑하게 지혜로운 투자해야 돼요. 솔라나 투자하면서, right? So, that's why I do it, right? 그것 때문에 제가 계속 유튜브 하는 거예요, right? Just too many fucking idiots, too many fucking morons who are giving Solana a bad name. It's gross, right? It's bad, right? 그런 악마 같은 사람들 때문에 솔라나 명예 이제 망하니까 저는 물론 계속 유튜브 해야 돼요. 어쩔 수 없어. So many fucking idiots on YouTube. 진짜로. 유튜버 인플루언서들 너무 이상한 새끼들 너무 많아요. I mean, you just spend any time seriously researching crypto and you come to that conclusion fast as fuck. 이제 크립토에 이제 장기로 이제 좀 집중적으로 이제 연구하면 물론 똑같이 그런 이제 결과가 나와요. 진짜 이상한 새끼들이 너무 많아요. 그래서 어 되게 조심하게 투자해야 돼요, 크립토에 투자할 거면. NFT 같은 것도 다뤄주면 재밌을 것 같아요. 아 네. 아이 우리 구독자들이 많이 이제 물어보는데 my subscribers, they do ask me NFT questions a lot. I just the problem with that is I have I have like zero personal interest in NFTs. 이제 문제는 우리 구독자들이 NFT 많이 물어보는데 저는 그런 거 연구 안 하고 개인적으로 그런 거 관심 없으니까 그래서 그런 프로젝트를 뭐 커버 잘 안 해요, 우리 채널에. 그거 네 어쩔 수 없어요. I mean this is my channel. 이건 제 개인 채널이고 제가 이제 연구하고 싶은 거 연구하니까 네 어쩔 수 없어. These NFT projects, they would have to pay me a lot of fucking money if they want me to look into their shit and like promote the good ones, right? 얘네들이 이제 NFT 창립자들이 진짜 좋은 창립자들이고 좋은 프로젝트 있으면 저한테 돈 많이 줘야 돼요. 제가 이제 따로 연구하고 그런 거 이제 확인하고 이제 우리 채널에 NFT 같은 거 이제 홍보해 줘 달라고 그런 말 이제 하면 저한테 돈 엄청 많이 줘야 돼요. Because the reason is most 99% of NFTs have zero fundamental value. 이유는 이제 90 NFT 시장에 NFT 중에 99%가 그냥 사기예요. 그냥 아무 가치가 없으니까 저희 같은 경우는 이제 굳이 뭐 연구할 생각 없고 그래서 이제 그렇게 생각해요. 그게 이제 저희 사고방식이에요. That's my line of thinking. That's why I don't really cover NFTs, right? DeFi, like there is some kind it's like easier to quantify and it's easier to see like where the value comes from. DeFi 같은 경우는 이제 통계로 이제 판단할 수 있고 이제 어떤 가치 있는지 조금 더 쉽게 판단할 수 있는데 NFTs are a fucking joke, right? Most NFTs are just straight up shit scams, right? 이제 NFT 같은 경우는 대부분 진짜 그냥 완전 그냥 사기예요. As I have zero interest, right? I've said this from day one, right? I have zero fucking interest in NFTs, right? NFT 그냥 전혀 관심이 없어요. There's just so much like shitty scammy shit going on in NFTs, right? I can't spend time on that bullshit, right? 확실히 안 좋아서 트위터 계정 뭔가요? 아 화질이 안 좋아서 화질이 렉 조금 있어요 지금? 잘 안 보여요? 저희 화면? clickbait 너무 많죠. Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, there's so much clickbaity stupid shit on YouTube, right? You just cannot trust these YouTubers, right? You cannot trust these YouTubers. 진짜 유튜버들 못 믿어요. I mean, dude, I saw this thing. I was like, this makes no fucking sense whatsoever. This is one of the dumbest things I've seen on YouTube ever. 진짜 이거 진짜 심각해요. 심각해서 제가 이거 글 올린 거예요. 아니 진짜 심각해요. 이거 5,000불 말도 안 돼요. I mean, I don't know who the fuck was promoting Solana at $5,000. This was one of the dumbest things I've ever fucking seen in my life. I have no I recently found out Corey was saying that this guy was a scammer apparently. 이분 모르면 this dude's name is Invest Answer. He's apparently one of the biggest scammers on YouTube. Corey 같은 경우가 이제 얘 이제 완전 사기 유튜버 인플루언서 다 이제 말했어요. 그래서 사람들이 다 알아요 이제. You cannot trust this guy. I guess his name is Invest Answers, right? I feel very sorry for the people who took this guy's advice. They got fucked. 만약에 우리 구독자들 중에 이런 Invest Answers 인플루언서 같은 말 듣고 이제 솔라나 들어갔으면 엄청 크게 망했어요. I mean, if you took this guy's advice, this is why I followed Corey, right? Because I saw him calling this guy out, right? And I really liked it. So Corey follow한 이유는 이 사기꾼 이제 다 공개했으니까 되게 마음에 들었어요. Right? Anytime I see scammers get exposed, I'm very happy. 이제 사기꾼들이 이제 사실이 다 알게 되면 저는 되게 행복해요. 그래서 Corey follow 했어요. That's why I follow Corey, right? This guy called out Invest Answers. This dude turned out to be one of the biggest scammer influencers, right? Do not trust anything this guy says. 얘가 하는 말 절대 믿지 마세요. I mean, this is I just laugh at this shit. This makes no fucking sense, right? 이런 거 보면 그냥 웃어요. 저희 같은 경우는 말도 안 되는 개소리예요. 이거. Who the fuck was saying Solana 5,000? I would never. Again, this is just disgusting. I would never make a headline like this. I would never make a thumb like Solana fucking $5,000, right? Ridiculous. 저 어이없어요. Better get go have lunch. All right, man. Have a nice lunch. 맛있는 거 드세요. 맞점. 이한. 이한님 어서 오세요. Welcome 이한. 안녕하세요. 평소 녹화 방송 잘 보고 있습니다. 네, 감사합니다. Thank you so much, my friend. 운전 중이라 채팅 못한 부분 이해 부탁드려요. 늘 네. 물론 네. 너무너무 감사해요. I do this for you guys, right? 우리 구독자들 위해 계속 이렇게 방송하는 거예요, right? I'm trying to help you guys make money in Solana, right? I if you think about what I'm trying to do, right? If you think I'm fucking trying to fuck over my subscribers, it's like you have to think about interests, right? In crypto, right? 이제 새 솔라나 투자자들이 이렇게 생각해야 돼요. 이제 사람 관심 항상 생각해야 돼요. 저희 같은 경우는 이제 고래 아니고 그냥 일반인 투자자이고 똑같이 우리 구독자들처럼 일반인 투자자니까 제 관심이랑 우리 구독자들 관심이랑 똑같아요. 그래서 이제 사람 믿을 때 잘 판단하고 믿으세요, right? I mean, you gotta there's always the interest perspective in crypto, right? The VC's interests are the opposite of you, right? It's always something to consider, right? When you're investing, right? Where is your information coming from, right? It's very important. 그거 되게 중요해요. 그 기술 하나 배워야 돼요. 크립토 투자할 때 사람들 이제 말 듣고 이제 어떤 사람들 진짜 믿을 만한지 그런 거 잘 이제 파악해야 돼요. But I've covered most of what I wanted to cover. Let me just quickly see how hard we're pumping. I know we are pumping a little. 지금 조금 가격이 올라갔긴 올라갔으니까 잠깐 차트 보고 끝날게요. Let me just very quickly look at the Soul chart and then we'll wrap it up, right? Because I know we were pumping this morning, right? 오늘 아침에 가격이 조금 올라갔긴 올라갔어요. So let me just quickly see what happens, right? Oh, this is the worst price action ever. 이런 가격 조치 보면 최악이에요. I mean, it's just doing nothing. 아무 움직임이 없어요, 지금. I mean, we're just hovering around the POC. The POC is at 34. Yeah, I mean, just this is just fucking terrible price action, right? It's just I want to see a big move up or I want to see a big move down, right? 저희 같은 경우는 이제 많이 올라가던가 아니면 많이 내려가던가. 저는 그런 거 계속 보고 있어요, right? I mean, this is fucking terrible. Awful. Terrible. Just like nothing is happening. Awful. Terrible. Terrible price action. I do 만약에 궁금하면 만약에 솔라나가 계속 올라갈 거라고 생각하면 get into Solana shitcoins. Those things will pump harder than Sol if we actually do see a pump. 만약에 진짜 이거 바닥으로 이제 판단하면 진짜로 이거 바닥이었다고 판단하면 27보다 더 안 내려갈 거라고 생각하면 if you really think we will not go lower than 27, which was the local support here, you should just get into Solana shitcoins. There will definitely be some Solana shitcoins that pump even harder than Sol. That would be the smart trade. It's just going to be a levered bet on Sol, right? So while most people are trying to accumulate Sol, if you want to make a levered bet, just accumulate Soul shit coins, right? If you think that Solana will continue going up, right? That's my advice. If you genuinely believe, right, the bottom isn't. 이런 추천 해줄게요. 진짜 진심으로 100% 이제 27이 바닥 느끼면 이런 마이크로캡 같은 거 한번 도전해 보세요. 왜냐면 그런 코인이 소울보다 훨씬 더 많이 펌핑할 수 있어요. 만약에 그런 디젠 같은 거래하고 싶으면. If you don't want to do like a leveraged soul play, which is very dangerous for most people, 이제 대부분 사람들한테는 이런 이제 소울 거래하면서 마진 거래 그런 거 하면서 망하니까 그런 비슷한 이제 가격 조치 보고 싶으면 그냥 마이크로캡 알아보세요. 좋은 마이크로캡으로 판단하면 그런 데에서 거래해 보세요. Right? If you do these soul microcap plays, they're going to be moving like a soul degen play anyways, so you won't get liquidated if you do those kinds of plays. You'll at least be able to keep your initial investment. 이제 degen 거래하면서 이제 망하면 그 돈이 그냥 아예 날아가니까 마이크로캡도 한번 알아보세요. It could be worth looking into. I'm not saying you should. 뭐 거래 추천은 아닌데 만약에 그런 이제 그런 거 하고 싶으면 그것도 천천히 알아보세요. Might not be a bad idea to look at doing some soul microcap plays, right? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to see on the chart here, right? 이거 잠깐 보니까 아무것도 없어요 여기. Anyways, that is it for me. So keep an eye on Sino and Altcoin Psycho and RK Kappa and McKenna. 잘 지켜보세요. 예, Sino하고 Altcoin Psycho하고 RK Kappa하고 McKenna. There's no questions on the in the comments. 여기 댓글 없으니까 여기까지만 할게요 오늘은. I'll see you guys on the next one. There's no comments here for me, so I'll just end it here. Thanks for the people who came out. 오늘 나온 분들 너무 감사해요. Take it easy, everyone. Have a nice day. 다 좋은 하루 보내세요.